Hello and welcome everybody to the JoinDOTA League Season 2, which is, yes, still going on, although people are already playing the JoinDOTA Season 3 as well. But these games are actually the hold up for the JoinDOTA League Asian Division to start as well for Season 3. We are HeflaTV, my name is Coucher, and joining me will be Whiplash.
Hello, Couchshore. How's it going, man? I was actually a little afraid that I wouldn't know too much about these teams coming into these matches, but as it turns out, I actually personally know two of the members of Kingdom, so this is kind of nice. I actually know a little bit about the backgrounds of at least one of these teams.
And that is always nice. I mean, I have cast the Kingdom in the last best of threes when they've been in the lower bracket in the Division 1-2 playoffs. They've looked really dominant. As for Assail, I maybe casted them once at the start of Season 2, which was like end of April, start of May or something, so actually I really don't have any insight into them either, so I guess we'll be all about Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, basically, from what I know about Kingdom, is the player Tootie is formerly of the Korean team Monkey Spanner. He played during the Korean Dota 2 League Season 1 on that team, along with some other players. So that's how I know him. Very nice guy as well, by the way. Very friendly. And I'm glad to see that he's playing some Dota nowadays. And also, Musica is actually of the Hot Six squad, which is one of MVP's teams. For those of you who are unaware, MVP was one of the Korean teams that actually made it to the International this year. So he's affiliated with that organization. He is originally from Southeast Asia, but currently playing with the MVP Hot Six squad. And as you can clearly see, he is standing in for Kingdom.
Yeah, it's quite a backstory there. Of course, Korean teams overall are. I guess there aren't too many Korean players actually. So many people so-called migrate into it. Like, for example, Rave, almost fully Filipino at the moment.
They're a fully Filipino team. Yes, Joe's technically Canadian, and yes, Ninja Boogie is half American, half Filipino. But for all intents and purposes, they are a Filipino team.
But coming into this draft now, the bans were rather standard, I guess, apart from really the Batrider and Skyr of Mage. Yes, it's a strong hero and picked up really often, although you don't see it banned that much. But like the Batrider has completely fallen off, but Assail, they still make it a priority to ban it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a really solid hero, and if you are a bit afraid of it, if you like don't want to have to draft around the hero, I still think it's very good. It's become one of those heroes now that it's not so dominant that it's always a first pick, first ban, and I'm actually really happy that it's kind of like that nowadays because when you have heroes currently in the meta like Lycan, I think when's the last time you didn't see Lycan, first pick, first ban? It's just that hero's been there forever, and something will eventually change that hopefully put him in line with other heroes. But I think the string of nerfs that happened to Bat Rider over the past year or so, they put him in line with the other heroes now, so he's not as dominant. But I still don't feel like he's a useless hero either.
Yeah, neither do I, although most teams seem to feel that way. But Shadow Shaman, of course, at the moment picked up for a sale, which is, I have to say, probably the most popular support hero at the moment. Just the skill set on that hero is so damn strong. The Mass Serpent wards allow you to just go for team fights and objectives at the same time, or just objectives afterwards with the Serpent wards.
Yeah, and that's really what the meta is kind of migrated towards these days. So Shadow Shaman able to fill a lot of roles, and like we didn't even mention the fact that he has two disables as well as a nuke. I mean, this hero is pretty much he's got it all as far as the support is concerned, and that's why he's such a popular pick nowadays. As far as the other heroes go, we of course have Brewmaster, Razor, Faceless Void. I do like the Razor Faceless Void combo. You can kind of static link someone if they're inside the Chronosphere, so that can work out quite well. But looking from the other end, the Brewmaster and Shadow Shaman will also bring a lot to team fights, and the Roshan Pit.
Yeah, they most certainly will, although at the moment, at least the Brewmaster is usually played in the mid lane role, and Kingdom, they can match up the Razor against the Brewmaster, which is actually a really favorable matchup for the Razor, I think, because just get the boost of speed, static link the Brewmaster, and chase him down.
Yeah, I mean, Razor does good against pretty much any melee, I'd say. Almost anyone anyway with static links, so there'll be no changes there. We'll have to see. They could certainly put another hero mid. Brewmaster, I feel he's a very versatile hero. You can basically put him in any of the lanes, but yeah, I agree, Coucher. We normally do see the Brewmaster in the mid lane. And as far as other bans go, we have the Rubik being taken out in the second phase of bans, as well as the Enigma. So some support heroes going to the wayside. And I'm wondering what else they'll try to remove from this pool. But I would actually, I guess, Assail, I would like them to pick up the Rubik instead of ban it because then they can steal that Chronosphere.
Well, the thing, of course, with a stolen Chronosphere is that you have to kind of land it perfectly. Faceless Void really doesn't care too much about it still. But, I mean, better safe than sorry, I guess. I'm not too sure. Assail did not want their own Master Point Force or the Primal Split, of course, stolen either. But at the moment,
That's a good point.
what are we
Hmm.
gonna see? Enigma and Viper taken out by Kingdom. They do have, I guess, Faceless Void can be played either off lane or safe lane. Some teams even run it as a mid laner. So the options are open to them, but how would you prefer, or how do you think they're gonna run the Faceless?
Well, just based on Assail's ban of the Ember Spirit, it kind of leads me to believe that they feel like this could be an off-lane Faceless Void. But, I mean, it's still really early in the draft. I mean, you can do that if you want, or you can put him safe lane. Just try to, focus on what would make a better team composition overall compared to your opponents. And the fact that they forced out that Ember Spirit ban, I guess, at least shows that Assail's afraid that the Faceless Void may be played in the off lane. So just having that versatility in the draft alone, I think, is kind of a mini win almost for Kingdom.
Yeah, I just wholeheartedly agree with you there. And actually, I'm really happy to see Disruptor getting picked up by Kingdom. I haven't seen that hero at all. There was a short period of time when more teams started to pick him up, but then fell off again. But up against the Brewmaster, the Static Storm is just unbelievably useful.
Yeah, even against the Shadow Shaman as well can be pretty good. Does it's a big AoE, so more synergy between these teams. They're bringing a lot of lightning to their squad now, combining that up with the Razor. Yeah, I totally agree. I love the Disruptor. I wish he was used more actually. Maybe it's because people can just kind of BKB out of Glimpse or something, but I still am a huge fan of his skill set, and in the hands of a skilled player, he can be very good. But Assail picking up possibly, would you say, the second most popular support in the Sand King, or he's definitely like top five, I feel, nowadays.
Yeah, he's definitely somewhere up there. Although at the moment, the one issue I have with it is that the Shadow Shaman probably will be in the 5 position role now. So, unless they just completely dominate the laning phase and get tower after tower or something, he's probably not gonna have that Blink Dagger anytime soon. And the Shadow Shaman's effectiveness just quadruples almost when he has that immediate Blink Hex for himself.
He also may be running a little bit low on levels, so that means Mass Serpent more delayed as well. Sand King can, of course, kind of go into the jungle, do some farming with Sandstorm, so he will eventually pick up this Blink Dagger. But already Assail, they have three heroes where Blink Dagger is basically a core item on them, so the amount of initiation they're bringing to the table at this point is pretty darn impressive. And I mean, they could just all pop onto somebody and take them down before anyone knows what's going on from Kingdom's end. So I guess that's definitely one of the strengths of their lineup so far.
Yeah, I actually really like their free heroes as well. Like you said, they just have a ton of initiation. And although Kingdom, they have it themselves as well, maybe catching somebody off with a glimpse or just Faces Away, Time Walking, Chronosphere. I just Faceless Voids, they actually have a pretty horrible win rate if you just look at percentages. And now picking up a Wraith King, I mean, I'm a little bit hoping that it's gonna be a support Wraith King. Because
Me too.
otherwise, he might just not be able to do anything with the Chrono being there.
Yeah, because the Faceless Void's picked up, I'm kind of led to believe that it will be a support Wraith King. I don't see him being too useful outside of that. Oh, with the Cell picking up the Nature's Prophet, if they like win a fight, their push power is insane, and beyond that, they still have the traditional split push. But he's combining pretty good with the Shadow Shaman. They have really good wave clear basically from all of their heroes and some pushing powers. So I have to say I am actually liking a sales lineup a little bit more. But that being said, I think Kingdom may have a little bit more sustainability when it comes to these team fights. These heroes are definitely overall a little bit tankier than their counterparts, with the Brewmaster looking to be the only real tanky hero from Assail's team. So it really could just come to a lot of these early engagements, and if Assail gets behind, I think they're kind of screwed. But if they do pretty good, then things could just spiral out of control for Kingdom, and they won't be able to really do too much.
Yeah, all in all, I do also prefer the SA lineup at the moment, at least, just because they have, let's say, a better comeback method, even if they do fall behind early on. Sand King, like you said, can of course just go into the jungle, get farmed that way. Nature's Prophet can just split push, maybe even together with Shadow Shaman and the Mass Serpent Wards. And of course, they have really easy just access to Roshan. Mass Serpent Wards, 3 ends tanking it up, should be fairly easy and fast for them. But Kingdom, I mean, to be honest, as far as the support rotations go, I think the Disruptor and Wraith King might be able to achieve more, because Shadow Shaman, his movement speed is horrible, so might not get in range for anything. And Sand King, early level Burrow Strike range is also pretty bad. And Brewmaster, Thunderclap, maybe the slow will be enough for the support to get in position, but it might not be so. But Kingdom, they go for a Tinker.
Ooh!
Wow. Wow, man.
Meepo, we got a Meepo pick. Awesome. This is going to be exciting. So, 2D is an offlane player generally, at least he was during his tenure in Korea. So, I do expect him to be in that offlane with the Faceless Void, Musica. I believe he does handle the mid lane for MVP as well. So, not really a big surprise to see him in that position. I'm excited to see how his sales lineups will end up, because, I mean, they're still very versatile, but. What do you think as far as their lineup goes? Where are these heroes actually going to end up at?
I would probably think that just Brewmaster mid lane, getting those guaranteed levels, getting the fast level 6 primal split so you can actually properly fight. Shadow Shaman helping Meepo out on the safe lane, Sand King mostly just stacking jungle and farming that up once he gets to level 3. Before that, rotates around, and Nature Prophet, of course, on the offlane.
Cool. Well, I guess we should go ahead and introduce these teams. This is the JoinDOTA League Asia, if I recall. We're in season 3 now, I believe.
This is actually season 2, the Division 1-2 playoffs. Whoever wins this game will have to face Immunity in the lower bracket final to see who gets into Division 1 as the last team.
Well, now I feel like a dum-dum for saying that, but regardless, I'll go ahead and introduce Kingdom. We have over on the Disruptor, it's Yomu Kompaku, and then mid lane Tinker, that will be the stand-in Musica from MVP's Hot 6 squad. Over in the offlane, it's going to be 2D. And then the Razor will be played by Fixer's Hiri. And then finally, looking to be a support Wraith King with the Sentry Wards in his inventory. After all, that will be Smashy.
And for Assail, up on the dark side, Ponlo playing up on the Sand King, leaving Death to play the Shadow Shaman. Mid lane taken up by Vexus on the Brewmaster. Off lane, PH on the Nature's Prophet. And the safe lane, Farmer will be Linger on that Meepo that, well, it feels like everybody loves.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy that Meepo's been becoming more and more popular, and you get him in the right hands, you get somebody that can control the Meepos perfectly. I mean, I'd say he's actually a borderline hero in an ideal situations or situation. So, whenever there's a Meepo, everyone's always excited, and me included.
Yeah, just there's so much action, like the poofs. If he gets the ball rolling and if he's spot on with his micro, his ability to just blow up anyone is so good. Actually, the Earthbind is pretty damn strong against Tinker as well, because the range you can cast it from is pretty damn sick. And you can cancel actually the Tinker's TP, especially early on. And maybe even catch him when he's trying to just blink into the trees and TP away.
I think 2D will be okay for the time being. He's picked up a 4-man shield, and he has 2 tangos just kind of sent to him. So as long as the other shock doesn't keep bringing him down, I think he'll be A-okay. And generally, stay within EXP range. Sand King already starting to stack up some creeps in the jungle. And meanwhile, it looks like it'll be the Razor versus the Brewmaster in the mid lane. So, yeah, safe lane Tinker. Generally, I do see him in the mid lane more than any other lane, but he's down in the bottom lane. What do you think about that?
I think it's actually pretty damn nice, because otherwise the support from Assail might have too easy of a time maybe rotating around and gagging him. And you really want to ensure that the Tinker actually gets the boost of travel. And from some point, I don't remember who it was, but some pro players were actually discussing about it as well. And they were saying that the safe lane Tinker is better because you do get that guaranteed farm. And I think Razor is a good matchup against Brewmaster as it is.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. That makes a lot of sense as well. Just kind of, it's a bit of a safer way, I suppose, to play the Tinker to make sure he gets his guaranteed farm. I guess it's a bit harder for him, especially on the Radiant, to stack the creep camps up. But if the supports have an easy time in the bottom lane, maybe one of them can rotate around and help out a little bit. Speaking of rotations, we do have Sand King heading towards the mid lane, and he'll spot that illusion rune. And well, let's see where he goes afterward, if he tries to make some action happen, or if he just heads back to the jungle and keeps stacking.
Yeah, and actually, when I'm thinking about it, with this laning, I think I mean, you win the bottom lane anyway because you're in a tri lane. But I don't think Tinker would be able to shut down a Brewmaster as hard as Fixers is, although he's going pretty aggressive with the static link, of course, which is expected, but if he's not careful, the rotation might come because one Meepo is already on the high ground as well, just ready to get the jump on Fixers if he just slightly mispositions himself.
Yeah, this is really cool, actually. He's using the Meepo in a very offensive way instead of kind of, I guess, a farming way, so to speak. But this location also keeps them very aware if there's any creep stacking that could happen at this ancient camp on the Radiant side. So that's kind of cool as well. It's like a multi-purpose Meepo, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like no-tail support Meepo. Oh, top lane 2, did the shackles come out? Linger, does he have enough? The poofs! No, he should have enough with the time walk. No, Earthbinds.
Oh, he's gonna time walk out of there.
He's too tanky, he's too tanky, can't die to the creeps. Oh, finally.
That was incredibly close. He got, I think, a few more backtrack procs than he was anticipating, but still prevents the first blood. He could have tried to run away as well, but I think he was dead one way or another, and that's what he decided to do with the course of action. But still, preventing the first blood was pretty important, and just dying to the neutrals. It was an overall best case scenario for a bad case scenario.
Yeah, definitely really well played by 2D, and to be honest, every time I've seen that guy, he's just performed so well for his team. Of course, I think I've seen him mostly on heroes like Centaur or something, and since it was a little bit before TI, before the Faceless Void just came the go-to offlane hero almost.
Oh, Meepo's coming in. Looks like they're going to try to pincer him and see if they can get a gank. There's the Earthbind, and there'll be a Brewmaster Thunderclap as well. Another proof end, and there's the first blood going into the stand-in Linger with the help of the Brewmaster. So that's already a pretty solid start in the mid lane, and getting this Meepo some extra experience as well.
Oh yeah, but bottom lane, Nature's Prophet in huge trouble, Smashy coming in from behind. He has the Rayfire Blast, actually uses it as well, and I don't think BH can TP away.
Oh, can he actually TP away? Oh, wait.
Yeah, what? They had the glimpse.
Okay. The glimpse
you couldn't actually see it because he didn't move from the position.
That's actually why I was confused. But, oh, look at this Shadow Shaman. He's got a very long-range shackles onto the Stinker, finishes it off with the other shock and a little bit of help from the trans. So that was actually a very smart rotation from the Shadow Shaman, but he may end up losing his life over this because Wraithies is going to throw a stun at him, Wraithfire Blast. The Shadow Shaman's still alive actually, but just a right click from the Disruptor will finish the job.
Yeah, I mean, in the end actually, it wasn't really worth it since the Wraith King died at the moment as well. PH and the Nature's Prophet TPing there, of course, Tower also helping out, and Assail definitely came out on top, especially since Shadow Shaman getting that one kill. He gave him so much levels all of a sudden, he's almost level 5 now.
That's true. Razor's managed to grab up his level 6, actually is ahead of the Brewmaster in experience, which is kind of interesting. Meanwhile, he's going to be kind of trapped with the kinetic field for the time being, but now, using his ultimate, in comes one of the Meepos as well. Looks like this Disruptor will indeed fall, and Razor could end up being the next target. But do we have a stun? Do we have an Earthbind? There's the Earthbind. We're going to have some poop follow-up as well. They're on the tower. They don't even care. They're going to go for the kill. The Primal Split is ending, and can he actually finish off the Meepo? He gets the Meepo, but the Brewmaster still manages to finish the job on the Razor.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy by Assail there, but getting the kill. Thunderclap actually misses on Smashy. Oh my god, but Death is there, going for the Shackle. Should be an easy kill on the Wraith King, the double damage on Vegas. Just plain, and now Yomo, he TP'd to a bad spot.
Yeah, He has to kind of use the kinetic field to help him out. That was a little odd. This Wraith King ended up just kind of dying there, not really respecting the upfront DPS that can come out from the other team. So we'll have Razor rejoin in the mid lane, doing a little bit of damage with his fossil field. Actually, he finds the Shadow Shaman. He's gonna die. Will not be able to deny himself to the creeps either as well. So that Shadow Shaman kind of overstayed his welcome from the look of things.
Oh yeah, and Assail 7-4, actually 7 minutes into the game. We've been having a pretty action-packed early game. And now there's even a haste rune on the Brewmaster. He can actually set up maybe a kill on the Disruptor versus.
Yeah, it's looking like it. I mean, his Primal Split's down, but he does have the haste rune in the bottle, so... Stealing up 105 damage, Brewmaster does no damage whatsoever. And Razor, he is in a bit of trouble. They're trying to block him with the trance, but just a little bit too tanky, out of position. And with some supports reinforcing in the mid lane as well. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like this just creates a ridiculous amount of space for this Tinker, and even if you look at Faceless Void, he's up to 22 last hits at 7.5 minutes into the match compared to the 25 of Meepo, so 2D has been finding some pretty darn good farm. He's also hit level 6. I have to say I really like 2D's positioning, even though he had to die to the neutral creeps earlier on in the match.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, not only is he in the offlane, but for some periods of time, he's been solo there. He hasn't been up against anybody. Meepo has been mid lane trying to get those kills. Support's rotating around to the bottom and mid lane as well. So it's actually really rare to see an offlaner have the lane all to himself at some point in time.
A little bit interesting. Also, I just want to say that even though the score is 4-7, with Kingdom kind of trailing behind, if you look at the graphs in experience and gold, well, okay, they were ahead a little bit earlier, but in Kingdom's favor. But now they've kind of leveled up to be pretty even with each other. But it's still, it felt like the kill difference isn't really a factor too much in the game at this point.
Yeah, I just completely agree with you, Whiplash, because like you said, Faceless Void getting his farm, and of course Tinker already has boots with mid lane. Glimpse goes out death, gets the immediate text and fixtures, going for the TP out. Really smart decision, but no plasma field. Doesn't make it back in time.
Doesn't. So nice, easy survival there. Looking at Sand King, he almost has enough gold for his Blink Dagger, up to 2,000 gold. Also hitting level 6, so he will have that Epicenter available in these team fights. So Sand King's been doing pretty solid as well. And beyond that, these supports have basically abandoned bottom lane and have pretty much stayed, well, as I say, the Wraith King's back at bottom because Tinker's farming up the jungle a little bit with his March of the Machines, but he has picked up the Boots of Travel, so Soul Ring looks to be the next item on his shopping list, and Tinker's really been having a good game farm-wise. The same can be said for the Meepo, who's definitely caught up in last hits, and it's pretty much tied with the Meepo at this, or the Tinker at this point.
Yeah, it's actually... I'm interested to see who will get the better of it. I mean, Tinker, once you get those boots of travel, March the Machines, usually your last hits just kind of skyrocket from there on. But then again, the same applies for Meepo. The more points he gets into ultimate, with his poof maxed out. Although at the moment, of course, the jungle was completely farmed up by the Sand King, although him having a Blink Dagger is a huge pickup. Vexus has his own on the Brewmaster now as well, it just needs it to be delivered.
Yep, oh, Faceless Void is gonna come and use his ultimate. And can he actually finish off the Shadow Shaman? It doesn't really look like it. There's Musica coming in as well, using March of the Machines. They will get the Shadow Shaman, but it is a trade for this Faceless Void. Now, the Tinker will fall as well. Can it be a 3-for-1? We have a TP coming in from the Razor. Is going to turn it around on the Meepo. And the Lightning, is it enough damage? One more tick. No, the bottle charges just barely keep this Meepo alive. He poofs forward as well. Very, very well played by this Meepo. And he throws out an Earthbind. Does not manage to net the Disruptor. And it does look like he will barely, narrowly get away. No! Panda blinks forward, claps, uses ultimate as well, will stun. Follow up from the Sand King as well. They're being very, very greedy with this. The one charges from the Disruptor are keeping him alive for the time being. Razor, on the other hand, will not be so lucky as the Meepos finish him off. And they will get the kill on the Disruptor as well. So, looking at this, Kingdom starting to fall apart here. They just... do they actually have a solution for these Blink Daggers? And the jump in from Faceless Void on the triple man chrono, it was a great chrono, but it really didn't feel like the follow-up was there.
Oh yeah, and actually I think Tinker made a slight mistake. I'm not too sure if the laser range wasn't enough to just burst down the Shadow Shaman. But since he didn't do it 2D, he got ward trapped. That was the last thing the Shadow Shaman actually did before he died. But that set up the easy kill on the Faceless Void because he can't tank up the Mass Serpent wards. There's just no way it can happen. And the Disruptor being like 2 seconds too late after the chrono ended with his own Static Storm Kinetic Field there. He still caught like 2 to 3 heroes. But since it was that like second late, the heroes had already done their damage before.
Indeed. So, still kind of in the early game, we're kind of heading towards that mid-game time of Dota 2. We got some Blink Daggers online for Assail. Looking over on the other team, Tinker, he's picked up at least a Soul Ring, still lacking that Blink Dagger, however, to really just kind of march all over the place and be as aggressive as possible. Razor has picked up his Mechanism, and we do have a Smoke Gank from the supports on Kingdom heading towards the top lane. Chronosphere is online and ready, so if this Meepo's not careful, he could end up kind of fish food to this Faceless Void and company.
Yeah, and actually overall I think Faceless Void is just an extremely strong hero against Meepo because you catch one Meepo, that's all you need, just get him down, and the Meepo can't really poof in with the other Meepos to help out either because you're just gonna get stuck in the chrono with all of them then.
Yeah.
So at least they have that going for them.
It looks like bottom lane's under siege from the Shadow Shaman putting down his Mass Serpent Wards as well as a lot of treants from this Nature's Prophet. So this tower will be
they
following.
use the chrono for it. Will they go for the Static Storm as well? The stun coming out and the burst damage from Musica. Easy enough, that's 2D. Gets the last bracket.
So essentially trading a tier 1 tower for the hard carry of Assail. Brewmaster is kind of near top lane. He does have a haste rune activated, but doesn't.
What?
Oh, he's actually going to use. Oh,
that must have been a misclick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a misclick as well. A little odd, but that kind of sucks for him. And I think actually the Observer Ward from Kingdom did see him do that. So they kind of know that Ultimate's on cooldown for the, next 2 minutes or so.
That was so damn awkward at the moment.
It was. It was, like you said, Couch, I'm pretty sure it was just a misclick.
And he's so close to level 11 as well. Could have gotten the level 2 primal split off instead of now. It's gonna be so much harder all of a sudden to just defend this tower, although Sand King, he's in position.
Yes, he's in a very, very good position. Blink Dagger off, cooldown, Epicenter ready to go. And if everyone gets too close together, then this just may turn out to be a disaster for Kingdom. They do not have Chronosphere up yet. They do have the Razor ultimate. They have their other important ultimates online. And we'll have Tinker joining in the fight as well. Panna, he doesn't have his ultimate. He's getting all of his damage stolen, and he's going to try the TP out of here. Can he actually get away in time? Yes, he does, but in comes the Epicenter from the Sand King. Just completely destroys the Disruptor. Now, we'll see a reincarnation from the Wraith King, but oh man, the burst damage from the Meepo, it's just a little bit too much as Kingdom have lost 4 members, and can it actually be 5? They don't have enough mobility to finish him off from the look of things, but man, that just turned into an absolute disaster for Kingdom. It was a 4-4-2 trade.
Yeah, they got kind of tunnel vision, the Brewmaster, I think, and Brewmaster, even without his ultimate, him just juking around in the jungle, he's so damn hard to bring down since he is so damn tanky with the Drunken Brawler and a pretty sizable health pool. And of course, man, I think Sand King just made that huge difference. He blinked in with the Epicenter, and the Burst Strike actually landed on 3 heroes.
It feels like the synergy revolving around Kingdom's roster is definitely not on par with Assail, at least at this point into the game. I don't know, just like, they go in there, they want to make something happen, and it's not really happening. While on the other end, things look to be going pretty good. They have moved into the Roshan pit now. They have more than enough tools to finish off the big beast, and they'll go ahead and pick up that token pretty easily from the look of things. And even if Kingdom wanted to contest this, they really aren't in a position to team fight in the Roshan pit with so many strong Roshan fighters there.
Oh yeah, and actually, this means it's just gonna get so much harder, and I would have thought that Meepo is gonna join it as well and get the Aegis for himself, but they handed it to the Brewmaster instead. I mean, Meepo last time around, he still died alone. Now he has his Aghanim Scepter, so a little bit tankier. One extra Meepo, but still doesn't have his Blink Dagger, and before the Blink Dagger, the Meepo actually, he's scary, but he's not half as scary.
That's true. I still feel like the Meepo is the best Aegis target on Assail. It's kind of cool if the Brewmaster has it in case for some reason he doesn't get off his split and he just gets like out of position, focused down. He can come back and still be useful. But oh, hold on, mid lane. Looks like we're gonna have a go in on this Razor. He's just gonna get low, and out of the picture. Static Storm helping out a little bit, but it's still not enough. Faithless Void will move in, gets a 2-man Chronosphere. He finishes off the Sand King at least, but still, looks like 2D may end up falling. Shadow Shaman, though, low on health as well, so Faithless Void is so low, he's able to just narrowly time walk away. Salve up, but that will be cancelled. And the fight will continue, as Nature's Prophet does get finished off by some rockets as well, as the Sprout from, well, on himself, I guess. And that was actually a really good trade for Kingdom, a 3-for-1.
Yeah, they finally get the favorable fight for themselves somehow. Of course, Assail didn't even have the Meepo there, and Meepo, for some reason, couldn't even bring the tier 1 tower down top lane. So actually, minor mistakes, I guess, there. But in the long run, I don't think it's that big of a deal, because Nature's Prophet still farming up with his Hand of Midas, heading towards that, I wouldn't want to say old school, but the Nature's Prophet from like half a year ago or so, just going for that Necro Book for the extra push.
I certainly would. Mid lane though, another gank onto this Razor. I'm not sure if he can escape this time. He does use Mechanism, will get hit by a lot of ultimates, and uh-oh, here come in the Serpent Wards. Razor, he's still just managing to stay alive despite all of the DPS coming in on him. The wards have been quickly dispatched. We already have the Aegis burned as well on this Brewmaster, and his ultimate's down for this team fight. Very, very good placement of the Static Storm right in the middle of all the action. Sand King, a Burrow strike away. He does die. Somehow, everyone on Kingdom, well, I was about to say they're alive, but the Razor's finally fallen. Still, it's another 3-for-1 trade, and it may not be over yet. There's a nice glimpse back on the Meepo. He'll be hit by a stun. Disruptor low on health. The Meepos, they're poofing in. And just as I say that, blink away from the tanker. It looks like, yeah, no more fights probably from the look of things. But as I say that, Brewmaster's ultimate's off of cooldown. A boulder connects onto the Disruptor, and oh, he was on low health for just a little bit too long. Wraith King, can he survive in time for the reincarnation? It doesn't look like it. And Panda, he goes in at the last second and ends up making it a very even trade. So that was pretty crazy. But now Chronosphere, the fight's just not ending. Rockets coming out from Tinker, doesn't even need to use the laser. And they at least get the return kill onto the Brewmaster. So at the end of the day, it's 15-19. Assail still leading the kill score. And beyond that, though, they're only ahead by about 3,000 to 4,000 gold in experience. This has just been absolute action-packed game, Cal Short.
Yes! This fight, I don't know how many minutes it lasted. Of course, the Brewmaster, he got 2 kills. Although, having said that, they were only supports, and him dying actually fed Tinker the killing spree, so he got almost 700 gold out of this. And with this, he almost has his level 1 Dagon finished.
Sheesh, well, Tinker definitely getting online at this point. I can't wait to see that Dagon around just doing some real good damage, but Meepo's picked up his Blink Dagger, so like you said, Kausho, this is when he starts to get really scary, and I believe that's 4 Blink Daggers on Assail. The only person that doesn't have one is Nature's Prophet, and I have to say, Nature's Prophet, I mean, Blink Dagger can be a pretty good item on him at times. Maybe not with the kind of Necronomicon build he's going for, but it is an item that I've seen Bulldog get a few times, and some other Nature's Prophets.
Yeah, it's really became popular within the past month or two, I think, just going that Maelstrom Blink Dagger build, max out your rat potential. But of course, without the Necro Book, I think your ratting potential is a little bit weaker anyway, but you can, I guess, fight a little bit earlier. I don't even know, to be honest. I prefer the Necro Book build, to be honest, but look at Linger with the Invis on the Meepo. Oh, he wants to set up some beautiful kills.
This could be really good. Okay, there's a Blink. There's multi-poof as well, bringing Razor down very low. He's going to end up falling, but look at that Chronosphere! Perfect Chronosphere, but he gets Sheep, faces Void. They finish off the Meepos, the wards, the trees are trapping absolutely everybody in here. And they'll get 2D. They're going to get the tower from the look of things as well, but what price will they pay? Bandit's coming in now. His ultimate's over. He uses a Thunderclap down to about half health, trying to chase away the Disruptor, but the ultimate from Wraith King, buying a little bit of time. Can he finish off this Nature's Prophet slowed? And they get the kill on him. Turning around now on this Brewmaster. He's going to most likely have to get out of here, but maybe just trying to buy a little bit of time for this Thunderclap. Using the Serpent Wards for a little bit of zoning as well. And all of a sudden, this support Wraith King could be in a little bit of trouble. Sand King is channeling his epicenter. And oh, that's so much damage. I don't think he's going to escape out of this one. He'll get stunned as well. Still so darn tanky. They do manage to finally take him down, but now Tinker comes into the fray. He'll zap away that Brewmaster. Sand King, he's forced the blink away. And looks like that will be the end of the engagement, but still, it's just another one of these fights where things are constantly going back and forth, and they're lasting forever.
Yeah, in this fight I think it was a 4-for-3 by the end of it. But since Tinker, he remained alive throughout the entirety of the fight, getting a couple of kills to his name, I think it's definitely favoring Kingdom still. And of course, that means his Dagon is just gonna get higher and higher, and to be honest, I love Dagon, especially up against Meepo, because all you need to do is burst down that one Meepo and be done with it. And this Chronosphere, we saw how devastating it can be. It caught so many heroes. The Sand King made it a little bit better since he actually stunned out the Tinker, and I think it was the Wraith King. So the Tinker couldn't actually put down the March of the Machines, multiple layers of it, and laser at the same time, rearm, Dagon, what have you. But still, it was really drawn out. It looked like Assail might have it in the bag as far as the team fight goes, but nope, Kingdom, they turned it around, and looking at the graphs again, they are still in the favor of Assail, actually almost 5,000 gold, but XP, it's dropping down to almost 2k now.
I believe this will be a tower killed off. Oh, look at that. It's on the illusions. No! What are you doing, 2D? He just wasted all that damage on the illusions. Now Panda will come in with the primal split, throws a boulder over onto the Razor. He's tanky, but I don't know how tanky he is. Not tanky enough, apparently. He will get killed off. 2D, he'll use his Chronosphere, teleports away. It looks like this middle tower probably will end up getting denied. Meanwhile, Wraith King, he's in a bad spot. He will put a stun onto the Sand King, but everyone else is around him. They get the kill on the Wraith King. Meanwhile, Shadow Shaman will die to the March of the Machines. And now Disruptor stuck inside the tree line. He'll get stunned as well by the Sand King. Finished off by the Brewmaster with the Thunderclap. And that was it's like a 3-for-2 in Assail's favor. And that looked to be like a pretty dominating fight. I mean, Couchor, man, that Chronosphere on the illusions, I think that's kind of what boned over Kingdom in that engagement.
Oh man, I was like face-palming myself a little bit, of course. There's no way knowing, because there are always so many Meepos running around the map, so it was a legit Chronosphere, considering that, because it's not like they were smoked up and Chrono 10 or something. But now Ponlo actually has a gem on the Sand King. Although that fight, I think one thing that the Assail still did wrong is they went for the Razor, and I think it was maybe the Wraith King there at the right side of the tower. But, oh, actually, no! They're going on Ponlo to deactivate his Mask of Madness. Not gonna get a chest first strike out, but what I was saying is that pretty much 4 of the Assail heroes went to that fight on the right side of the tower, whereas Meepo chased 3 heroes into the mid lane, and he just got Kinetic Field, Static Stormed, and taken out by those 3 heroes before he could do much of anything. If they had just focused all their attention to one side of the fight, they probably could have just, maybe not team wipe, but get kills and not give any in return, I think.
Well, still regardless, it is 21-25 is still. Still kind of keeping a bit of a lead like they have been throughout this entire match. I also want to point out that the Sand Kings actually picked up a Gem of True Sight, so they really want to try to control this map, and there's no invisible heroes on Kingdom, but they do want to get rid of these wards. Meanwhile, Roshan's respawned, the Meepos are coming in though, the fight, and I'm pretty sure I could bet my money on the Aegis going to Meepo this time around. Will we see Kingdom try to contest this? They do have a 3-man smoke up, and people are kind of close by. Tinker, he's the only one that's not near his team, but he can't kind of teleport around. Still, it's just too late.
There's the Chrono onto Veko. Should be an easy kill with the Tinker helping out. Yeah, he's just out of the Chronosphere.
Yeah, they'll get him in time. The Wraithfire stun as well, just to make sure he can't use his ultimate.
And actually, Musica, he only has the Dagon still on level 1. He's picked up a point booster. Do you think that we might be looking at an Aghanim Scepter, or is he not man enough for it and just going for the Bloodstone? Ah, Bloodstone. God damn. I was hoping, like, finally, maybe we're gonna see just get that extra range on laser. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad, because you could definitely laser into the Chronosphere even if you're on the opposite side of it. But I guess the 4 rockets, they don't have as much effect when you have the Meepo soaking them up.
That's true. Yeah, I've heard that the Active Scepter is great on Tinker when you're trying to end the game like really fast and you just kind of rush for the item because you can just spam the rockets uphill and like people have to go walk back to the well after 2 rearms because like everyone's hit with the rockets. But generally, I mean, Tinker's such a great late game hero that it's like why would you want to risk that when you could just go late game with Tinker and do amazing with all of his spells and pushing power and whatnot. So. It's kind of like, I feel, a very niche way to play the hero. As far as Agnum Scepters go overall, 2D, he's picked up his point booster. He's only about 500 gold away from that Agnum Scepter, so just adding a little bit more team fight utility as well as survivability to this offlane Faceless Void. And, uh-oh, Sand King is putting up a ward. Could he actually get spotted by this Disruptor, though? He could actually get just caught out by the Brewmaster as well, and yeah, this Disruptor may not survive. Well, he's able to glimpse away the Brewmaster. TP's coming in from Smashy, and he actually manages to survive, but I don't think they really know about this very offensive ward placed near that tier 2 tower at the center by Assail.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice ward here at the moment, especially if you have the Meepo roaming around as well with an Aegis. It's so hard to bring him down like twice. But coming back to the Faceless Void, who now actually has the items required for his Aghanim Scepter, I really love that item pickup because they have the kind of lineup that can actually fight every 60 seconds. The static storm cooldown is 85 seconds, so you can't use it on every cooldown, but Tinker, he has all of his spells at his disposal at all times, so I really love the Aghanim Scepter, just getting that 60-second cooldown.
Yeah, the 60-second cooldown's great, the extra second's nice as well, and like, I think it's a little bit understated, but the extra stats are actually like not bad for Faceless Void. He still gets a little bit of damage out of it. He gets a good amount of health as well. The extra mana is certainly welcome on him as well. And it kind of, I feel, is almost required since you're going to be using Chrono a lot more. And I guess it's just not something you'll really think too much about Faceless Void. Normally you're just going straight up damage if like you're in the position 1 role. But if you're in the offlane, I feel like the Aghanim Scepter's like a really, really great choice on him. And we'll see a smoke come in from Assail. They are looking to push the tier 2 tower at the bottom lane. So they try to find Faceless Void. He quickly Chronospheres away after getting thunderclapped. And we're looking to see a big engagement here, Couchshore.
Yeah, I mean, they both the Mass Serpent Wars. They want this tower badly at the moment. And well, with the Meepo Aegis, they could just force a fight quite easily. I mean, Necro level 3s have been deployed already as well. Oh, Smashy, look at him!
Oh my gosh. He actually has to go. He has to earn up or something.
And the tower just...
Wow. You know what? During all of this, I mean, what are they gonna do? Meepo is like pressuring all of the other lanes. The top tower, they weren't in a position really, I feel, to defend it. It was just so hard to... I don't know, man. It's looking better and better for Assail. Unless we see like the most amazing Chronosphere ever and like the perfect follow-up. I don't know, man. It's getting harder and harder for Kingdom to really defend. The positioning is just too damn strong from Assail. They have 4 Blink Daggers on their team, for crying out loud.
Oh wow, man! The team with the better initiation wins the game. And there's a Hex now on Meepo as well, just making it even stronger for them. At least Fixers has his BKB on the Razor, so that is actually a huge item pickup because there's not too much physical damage coming out at all from Assail at the moment. But it's just a question of whether Razor will be able to output enough damage himself during the duration of the BKB.
I still... Oh, hold on. Top lane, and... Well, 2D's dead. He just got caught at a position, and the Meepos came in full force, and just... After the Sand King stun, I mean, there's not much you can do.
I mean... The Hex just helps out so much there as well, and Aegis, it's gonna be reclaimed in 1 minute, but that's plenty of time to just at least get the tier 2, if not pressure the tier 3 even as well.
Well, it feels like Assail is just slowly, like, squeezing the life out of Kingdom. They're in these very offensive positions. They're not letting the opposing team get any farm whatsoever. This Meepo is up to level 22 already, by the way. He is out-leveling the Tinker, who's only level 17 by quite a large margin. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're going to get the Disruptor. Good follow-up as well on the Razor. They'll get him with the stun and the Panda ultimate. Maybe they can even get a third person, but... no, they're just going to get the tier 2 tower. They'll probably follow it up with the tier 3. I mean, what's really there to stop them besides March of the Machines? That is a really annoying spell to fight up against high ground, but... I mean, Assail, they got the wards down. They're gonna go for it, baby.
Yeah, I mean, Mass Serpent Wars just helped it out immensely. Necro level 3 is out as well. They're just soaking up all the damage. Age is actually, it's gonna get reclaimed. Regeneration, it's not gonna pop in properly, but oh, the chrono, it catches every single one.
It's too bad he got sheep, but still, that is an amazing chrono, but it's not enough. They don't have, no one's in the right position to make anything of it. And, well, that just actually kind of sucks. Meanwhile, Wraith Gang almost dies to the Serpent Wards. They just need to finish those off. They've lost their melee barracks. Yes, Assail will back away for the time being, but, oh man. I mean, it's not like they lost anybody there. It's just turning into a nightmare for Kingdom, but I don't know, man. They have to get the same kind of chrono, and everybody needs to be in position if they want any kind of shot at taking out Assail.
Yeah, just imagine the Kinetic Field Static Storm being there, for example, to follow up. But they just actually kind of lack damage at the moment. I thought that with the Faceless Void not having damage, going for the Aghanim Scepter, that the other heroes will be able to compensate for that. But, like you said, the other heroes, they just weren't present, and you can't really compensate if you're dead or just out of position. At least Tinker still has his Bloodstone charges at 8. So hasn't really lost any of them.
Hasn't gained any either, but I guess he hasn't lost any. That just helps him like sustain in the lane. There are some players that do like to go for the Bloodstone, but definitely the more common follow-up is the Ethereal Blade, and then kind of maxing out your Dagon nowadays, just for like max damage and basically just like one-shotting, well not one-shotting, but comboing supports extremely fast. And I mean, I still think it would be pretty good against like both the Nature's Prophet and the Shadow Shaman. Prophet's picked up a Scythe of Vice at this point, in addition to his Necronomicon book level 3. Brewmaster does seem to be working into Assault Cuirass following his Aghanim Scepter, and this Shadow Shaman's picked up a little bit more mobility with that Force Staff, so item-wise Assail is looking very solid. Also, not to mention an additional Scythe on the Meepo, so they've got an insane amount of lockdown.
Yeah, they do indeed. I mean, double Hex, Nature's Prophet has his own. Meepo working for what I can guess is either going to be Manta style or Skadi. I would think Skadi, just tank it up and make it almost impossible to kill you. And I'm really afraid for Kingdom at the moment, I really am. I mean, Shadow Shaman, he has the Force Staff and the Blink Dagger, he can get into position so easily. And if they repeat what they did last time, just have the Mass Serpent Wards down, Kingdom, they need to just focus the Mass Serpent Wards, because even though they had the Chrono and made the heroes back off, they didn't deal with the wards, so the wards still took down the Rex.
They essentially got a tier 3 barracks as well as the tower for free, so what's gonna come next time, you know? And you said you're afraid of Assail now. I was afraid of them about 15 minutes ago, and I started to realize how these team fights were going for them. I think a lot of it does come back to that fight at the tier 1 tower where the Chronosphere landed on the 2 Illusion Meepos. It just, after that, man, it felt like they were kind of, you know, trying to climb up a mountain at this point. And look at this. Smashy is so close to the other supports over here. Will he actually spot them? That would be something.
It's so sick. The courier is actually going to fly over the Sand King now.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's going to spot the Sand King. He blinks away. Both of them blink away. And actually very smart ward placement as well. Over here kind of on the side of the map, which will essentially prevent these support heroes from blinking and getting the jump on anyone. I'm actually surprised no one died there. Like, no fights even happened.
Yeah, but now Assail, they're gonna get Roshan number 3 of this game. So not only an Aegis to Meepo, Aegis to probably the Nature's Prophet now.
So, third Aegis, they'll get the cheese, put it on the Brewmaster. There's, of course, Meepo. He's like invincible at this point. You're not gonna take him down. He's got an Aegis. He's got probably an Eye of Scotty soon. If he really wants, you can go for that Manta style, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think just tank it up a little bit more, become invincible. Well, blink forward. They're not going to find anyone. Tinker does manage to blink away in time, and he is starting to build up his Dagon now, up to level 3. But still, these supports have just had so much farm this game. They're in great shape.
You mean if you guess the Shadow Shaman, he's still going to get bursted down, but with his mobility items, he shouldn't be anywhere in range for the Tinker to actually catch him there. So it's looking good. The itemization is really good in the Assail, I think. Shiva's card now on Brewmaster as well, mitigating the damage of the Faceless Void and the Razor even more. And Razor, to be honest, he doesn't have much at all. His start was pretty decent, just getting the last hits in the mid lane. But just mech BKB, usually you would want him like 36 minutes in, have at least the Aghanim Scepter and maybe already just almost finishing the Refresher Orb if it's going really well.
Yeah, he wanted that Blacking Bar a long time ago. Especially when Assail had much more magical damage than physical. It's starting to turn around right now. Oh, we'll have a Chronosphere, and it's... well... the Meepo runs into it, but there's simply no follow-up available. Tootie is forced to back away. And we'll have a little bit of a kinetic field as well, kind of just in the middle. Net on the Faceless Void still. We're not seeing any real committal from Assail. And this Brewmaster actually, okay, he's forced to use his cheese. He actually completed the Shiva's card, by the way, but silence! In come the Meepos, they still get the Brewmaster, but oh, the damage, it's here from Meepo. Maybe one of them will actually manage the fall, as well as the Wraith King, who uses his ultimate. Back on the front lines, this is actually a pretty solid defense from Kingdom. It's a 2-for-1 trade, in addition to the Aegis, but, well, the Meepos, they're gonna pop in on Smashy. Looks like they'll get a kill on him real easily. Look at that. The DPS from the Tinker is enough to actually kill off the Meepo with the help of Razor. It indeed is. And Kingdom, it looks like they were absolutely screwed after whiffing that Chronosphere. They're back into this game.
I mean, that was a tactical fail chrono, making Assail feel comfortable in the fight, where in fact they actually weren't. Of course they forced it a little bit as well, going high ground, and I don't think they had a unified decision there of actually going high ground and taking the fight there. Some heroes tried to stay back, no epicenter was even being channeled or tried to. And actually now, with that fight, you have a huge item pickup as Disruptor has himself an Aghanim Scepter now, so no item usage is in the Static Storm.
That's actually really, really good. I love that Scepter upgrade on him, and I'm looking at the Shiva's Guard upgrade for Brewmaster, and I'm really thinking to myself, you gotta fight up against Static Storm, you gotta fight up against a lot of nukes from Tinker, you got, you know, annoying spells from Razor, except for the Static Link, like, why not go for the BKB on this Brewmaster? I don't know, I'm not really agreeing too much with the Shiva's Guard at this point in the game, because he was, like, you know, silenced throughout that entire fight, he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, he just went way too deep as well, just completely went solo there so far. But now Meepo, he has himself the Eye of Skadi, almost 3k HP, might go for a hard task next to just tank up even further. As there is a smoke from Kingdom. Can they get anything out of this though?
I'm not really sure. Roshan's still down for a very long time, so that's not really in the books. Meepo has finished up that Eye of Skadi, like you were talking about a little bit earlier, Couchshore. So Meepo's basically sitting on 20 armor and 3k health, which is pretty darn impressive, especially if you got 4 other clones kind of walking around the map. He's already picked up level 25, then I suppose to say, well, hold on, Chronosphere onto the Sand King at the bottom lane. They're going to lose the gym. That's actually really nice that they have that now.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty nice pickup indeed. And with the Sand King down, I don't think Assail will actually pressure any part of the map for Kingdom. They will just push out the lanes safely, but that's about it. Don't think any Rex or anything is in real danger during the duration of the Sand King's death. And like you said, getting the gem, it's pretty damn important, just gaining map control, making it so that you just can't get jumped as easily. Although with all the blink daggers on the side of Assail, it's still quite easy to catch you now that Nature's Prophet has his own as well.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to ask you, Whiplash, is that Smashy, he went for like the semi-carries kind of Wraith King or something, getting drums for his team and whatnot. But do you think a Blink Dagger might have been a better investment here?
Like, I'd say it's a better item if you're on the offensive, you're trying to pick off people. Kingdom has been on the defensive for, I want to say, the last 20 minutes of the game, so it doesn't feel like it would have the same impact as in a game that was a little bit more even. I still think it should be his next big pickup item, unless he really wants to just like get a BKB and survive for a little bit longer in these team fights. I guess I'd be okay with either of them, but if the game evens out anymore, then I would expect that item to be picked up on the Wraith King, but maybe he just thought to himself, you know what, I need to just build up some cheap stat items. I need to last as long as possible in these fights. They're going to get the jump on us. They have 4 Blink Daggers. It's probably not coming from my end, so I just want to focus a little bit more on helping out my team and survivability.
Oh, actually, they have 5 blinkers now. Every single member has them, and actually, if you press F5, they've aligned it pretty nicely, forming an arrow of sorts.
Too bad they're not Aero Gaming, man.
Oh, that would be some sick things. It's like, I don't know if you've seen the picture, but the picture of Terry Crews, like all 5 players loading in to the game have a certain part of the face of Terry Crews, and their names are like
yeah.
Old Spice something something something.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I've seen that before. I know what you're talking about. Alright, well...
Dota nerds like we are.
Total Dota nerds, man. We are total Dota nerds, and I'm loving it. Meanwhile, we have a smoke. It will expire pretty soon from Assail. I'm not sure. I don't think they're going to actually get anything out of this. Yeah, it's just going to fade. And nothing comes of it. Nothing was gained here, unfortunately, for them. I guess Kingdom, they're still in a very defensible position. If people come in on them, they do kind of got a little bit of a, I guess, line of sight terrain advantage. Not the high ground, but still not a bad place to kind of be at. From the other team, they're just pushing out these other lanes. I mean, it's still only a 4-kill difference. Looking at the EXP chart, it is about a 10,000 experience difference and a 20,000 staggering gold difference in Assail's favor. But as we saw from that last big team fight where they failed to go up the high ground, it really still is anyone's game despite Assail having a pretty considerable advantage.
It just stops the momentum because, and of course, getting that one pick off of Sand King bought them even more time to just push out the lanes, making it so that Assail can't reach their base as soon. But there is one positive. The Meepo is level 25, has been for some time, so I think that's one of the huge reasons why the XP graph is actually not as heavily in favor of Assail anymore. Because that is the one bonus of the Meepo, that he gets that max level so damn fast. And well, now he's starting to cap out. Yes, he has a couple more item slots to just get the Boots of Travels and maybe like Heart of Tarask or something instead of the TP.
Yeah. It's gotta be the heart. I mean, if he did something else, it'd be quite odd. He's actually going to use that slot for the Aegis though this time, as Roshan has respawned for the 4th time in the game. They're basically, Assail has been getting him like clockwork as soon as he respawns, and there's still not too much that Kingdom can really do in this case. Wraith King getting into a bit of a scary location. He'll get hit. Throws out the stun. Void. What's he gonna do? Chronosphere hits. Well, that doesn't really seem to be doing too much help. 2D man has just really not been too on point. These Chronos now, he'll be stuck as well as the Wraith King inside the Ward Trap, and a lot of damage coming out from the epicenter. We'll see the BKB from Razor doing work, but oh, I don't know, man. The Meepo is just right-clicking a little bit too darn hard. That's already 4 members down from Kingdom. They do at least manage to pop the Aegis on the Meepo as well as finish off the Shadow Shaman, but it's going to be an entire team-wide. Kingdom, they do have buybacks on 4 of their members, and we'll be seeing this come out very soon. This is still looking like that could have possibly been the game-winning moment for Assail.
I think Kingdom, they made a mistake there going for the fight, because without the Tinker actually, you could see that they just couldn't bring down the Brewmaster. They were right-clicking away at him, but Faceless Void just kind of tickled. Once the Tinker arrived, the damage started coming out. His Take-On just completely blew up the Brewmaster, almost hitting the Tinker early, but oh, Fixers now! He's just locked down, and now they're gonna go for Smashy next. No reincarnation for another 6 seconds. Tweety comes in, the Chronosphere actually beautifully done by Tinker. He's already up in the air by the Storm Panda. So this Chronosphere, unfortunately, once again, just gone to waste.
I have to say, this Shadow Shaman really just shut down the Faceless Void. He's been sheep so many times after a Chrono follow-up with the Shadow Shaman not being in there. I mean, this is still kind of like a last stand from Kingdom. They do manage to pick off the Nature's Prophet, but they're down 2 pairs of racks. They're getting just absolutely mauled left and right. We'll see. Maybe they can actually kill off the Meepo. He's low on health. No, Sand King comes in. And then the Poop follow-up as well. The laser from the Tinker will finish off that Meepo. And they do manage to get a return kill on the Faceless Void. A lot of low health here on Assail. Sand King under 100 health. And this Brewmaster already teleporting home. Maybe they can actually kill off the Sand King. Oh, so close. Laser was blocked by the Sandstorm at the last possible second there. No! He gets it! He may actually get a gem as well, but still, it's basically over. Kingdom, they aren't GGing yet. but it's gonna come pretty soon, whether it be through mega creeps or through them realizing that there's nothing they can really do in this game. It feels like Assail have this one in the bag, cow short.
Oh yeah, I mean, Meepo, he had actually 8k gold when he died, a little bit extra even. So now he buys up a finished Assault Cuirass and still has another 2.5 in the bank. And I have to agree, just being 2 racks behind, and the fact that they actually bought out on all of their heroes apart from the Tinker and Disruptor, because Disruptor just didn't have it. It just means that their carries who needed extra damage items or survivability items so bad, they won't get it now for a long period of time still. And the Assail, I think actually a huge factor in this game has been just them getting every single Roshan, having the cheese as well as the Aegis to just help them out in those fights.
Well, I mean, they have Meepo, so I mean, I would hope that they have the kill. They always get all the Roshans, but yeah, I have to agree. It's really making a big difference in these fights. It does allow them to be, I guess, significantly more aggressive against Kingdom when it comes to the actual engagements. Even you know, without that though, they've still done a pretty solid job. Meepo's 5th item is actually the Assault Cuirass, and he hasn't gone ahead and turned those power traits into Boots of Travel yet. I suppose he just feels like he wants more survivability, and he wants a little bit more armor. Uh-oh. We got 2D caught out of position. He will go down. Nothing but a whimper coming out from him. Razor, force these his BKB. He's gonna TP away. And, yeah, they'll escape fine, but, well, Tinker's down. So Musica as well as 2D down for the count. And there's the buyback, but still 1 minute, no chrono. I think this is basically it for Kingdom. There's not much they can really do to defend this.
Yeah, they're trying to do something. It's actually Ponlo. He finds Musica. Nope, he's the one on the run instead. Smashy gonna take a fall as well. Low 1 mana, but Reincarnation somehow popped off Linger. If they can just kill the Meepo, the poofs. No, he gets out. But Racks are still alive, so that's the most important part for Linger. He's coming back in. Ponlo just barely gets out from that one Dagon now. Musica. He's hexed up. Will there be enough damage? If this Tinker goes down, it's GG. And yeah, even Fixers is just soon to fall.
There we have it. I also noticed Sand King was actually 1 auto right click from dying. He narrowly escaped out of that one. So, GG called, very well played. I have to say, with a lot of stand-ins at that. I think, is it a bug, or do we actually have 4 stand-ins for Assail?
I think it might be. I know that one guy was saying that they're actually having roster, or they had roster changes quite some time ago already. So maybe they haven't been able to have Valve actually change their names or something properly to the tagged up ones. But
okay.
I have to say I have no idea who their usual lineup is or something, but whatever it is, at least this lineup for them worked.
They had a pretty good showing, a lot of great synergy between their players as well. I felt like they definitely, you could tell, were a much more well-oiled machine than their opponent's Kingdom, which kind of, like 2D, unfortunately, it seemed like a lot of those Chronospheres just, they weren't hitting the heroes they needed to, and when they were, no one else from his team was around to really make use of the Chronospheres, and Razor did end up getting ganked a lot in the mid lane, which really slowed down the BKB, which would have been much more useful, I feel, at the earlier stages and mid stages of the game. And I guess, yeah, beyond that, the support rotations didn't really accomplish too much, and we just didn't really feel the presence of Tinker that game as much from this game as well.
Yeah, unfortunately not so, but I guess we have to wrap it up as lobby number 2 is waiting for us. So guys, don't go anywhere. This is a best of 3 series after all. Whoever wins this will be up against Immunity in the loser bracket final to fight it out for the last spot in Division 1 for Season 3 JoinDOTA League. But guys, if you liked us, be sure to follow us on this channel and HeflaTV1 and HeflaMoke, the English channels for us, and all our social media to know when we're going live. HeflaTV on all the possible social media, more or less. You can find the links below the stream. And of course, if you like the casters, @Coucher on Twitter for me and @YeahWhiplash for my co-caster.
Indeed, we'll see you guys in game number 2.